Alright, this is part 2 of replacing the lower control arm in a Mazda 626. This is what your finished product should look like before you put your rotor back on and your caliper. I'm happy. I'm very happy with these. As you've seen in part 1, I was concerned, but I'm very happy with the way these are fitting. These little cheap tie rod ends from eBay. They fit in pretty snug and everything else. I'm pretty happy with them. Actually, I like the Allen wrench at the bottom. That way it doesn't have to fit so tight in here and you bust your tie rod end up trying to get it off with a pickle fork. This is the driver's side. I want to show you guys what I was talking about with the metal tabs today. I'll give you a better picture now that I can get under here. I'm in my dirty clothes. Let's see if I can get a good angle on that. Right up in there, you can see where I knocked the tab back. You can see the very tip of the tab right there where I push it all the way back. The tip of the tab is right at the edge of my finger. Oh man, it's hard to get in here. Move out of the way. Move this. Well, I can't move that because my other side is connected now. But anyway, you can see that. Let me get my light back in here. And I'm hoping you can see the bottom of the tab where I push it down. And I'm hoping you can see the other part of the tab. Yeah, there it is. You can get a good picture right there. That's the tab. The other side was broken. That's why you couldn't really see it. That's the tab that's around the bolt. You have your lower tab, which is pushed down in there. Then you have your other tab that wraps pretty much around the whole bolt. But as I was trying to explain yesterday, this is what I got. I actually didn't go to Mazda. I got an aftermarket bolt, a grade 8 bolt. Same 17mm heads on it. As you can see, I have a washer on that end, and a washer and a lock nut on this end because I eliminated the metal tabs that would keep the head of the bolt from spinning. This bolt's a little thinner than the original OEM bolt, but trust me, when I put it on the other side, it holds very good. So let me do this. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can hold the camera and con this bolt and going through. I'll put it in the front here. Oh no, hold on. I have to put you down for a second. There we go. As you can see, my bolt's through. Let me go ahead and... Oh man, it's tight. Really tight. I put my washer first, then I put my lock washer on top of the washer. Then I put my nut. And it actually worked perfect. Hold on. I have to put my camera down. I can do this with one hand. I hope my camera doesn't go dead. Sorry about this, guys, ladies and gentlemen. This one's being a little more stubborn than the driver's side was, but that's because I'm recording. Come on. Bear with me, folks. I'm trying to get this nut started, and it's not wanting to cooperate. And it's very hard to get your fingers in here to get it started. how you want to act. And try to flip it over, hit it from the other angle. Wow, it's crazy. Alright, okay, so I got it started. Got to start on there. Now, I do not have a 17 millimeter, and I said that on the first video. 17 millimeter. I do not have a 17 millimeter open end wrench. You will need a open end wrench for this. Okay. I love when I put a tool down and can't find it. There it is. All right. You need your socket with a 17 millimeter on the end, and then you will need, I think it was a 3/4. No, it's too big. It's 11/16. The closest I can get to it. And see, it fits. It does fit down in there good. It's hard for me to do this when I'm holding the camera, but it fits down there good. You just have to turn your nut a specific way to get it to grab. But once it grabs and you're on there, you actually tighten it. You tighten it all the way down, good as you can get it. You can go ahead and install your axle, which your axle's probably already installed. You don't have to take your axle off just to change the control arms. I was actually doing a clutch job as well, so that's why I had to take my axles off. And also, DJ, yeah, I forgot, the reason you did have to take that manifold off was because I wanted to mention this to other people that are going to do a clutch job as well. You do not have to take your intake manifold off or the rear engine mount back there for the 5-speed transmission, for the manual transmission. If you watch DJ Devin's video on automatic transmission to manual transmission swap, the reason he had to unbolt, come on, the reason he had to unbolt that rear mount back there and take off his intake manifold was because that rear mount is different from the automatic transmission to the manual transmission. Also, the intake manifold had to come off because inside of this bell housing is where your bolts are. You have to turn your crankshaft to line your bolts up to take all the bolts off the torque converter, where it tightens down to the torque converter. So if you are trying to find help on changing your clutch in your 5-speed vehicle and you happen to watch DJ Devin's video, I hope that you see my video before you start turning bolts, because this will save you a lot of time removing that intake manifold and that rear motor mount, which you do not have to do on a regular clutch change on this transmission. Now, like I stated earlier, if you are putting automatic transmission in a manual transmission vehicle, then yes, my motor mount with the manual transmission is different than the automatic transmission's motor mount. The intake manifold will have to come off so you can get you to your torque converter hold down bolts, which are inside the bell housing. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. Save some people some time any kind of way I can. I myself hate taking off 400 bolts to get a piece off and then finding out I didn't even have to remove the part. I hate it with a passion. So anyway, I ordered my sway bar link for this side. It'll be in tomorrow morning. Also, I'm glad I sat right here. I want to tell you guys, anyone that's going to change an outer tie rod in, this is a tip to help you out to keep your wheels as good aligned, as good as they can be aligned until you can get them realigned. What you do, you break this bolt off. Once you break, well, not off, but you break the bolt, turn it a little bit, just like maybe a half a turn to back it off of here. Once you do this, you count the turns of your bolt. What I mean by that, your bolt's pointing straight down. So of course one full rotation all the way back around until it's right here would be 1. Then you spin it again. 1 full rotation where it's pointing down again. That's 2. Again, spin it around until it's pointing downward. That's 3. All the way until this comes completely off of this ride. Okay? Then what you do, if your car is dusty like mine was, you say, let's say it took you 10 times to turn it until it come off. Then you write a 10 on your dusty bumper your dusty fender. I can't think, man. Y'all forgive me. I got so many things in my mind. But you write 10 on your fender, and that way when you go to put your pitman, your outer tie rod in back on, you know you have to turn it 10 times until it's pointing straight down. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, rotations. This has to go all the way around. 1, all the way around. 2, all the way around. 3, until you get to number 10 and it's pointing straight down. Then you know you're back where you was before, and you just tighten this bolt back on it, and when you stab it, it should be very close to being aligned from the last time you got your alignment, before you even messed with it. Okay? It's a cool little trick. I mean, honestly, last time me and my uncle done it, when he showed me this, the car was in alignment. I drove it for, I don't know, probably 2.5, 3 years before that started happening. And the only reason that started happening was because I hit a few big, and I mean deep, holes in the street that were only filled with limestone while they were redoing the street. Another good news, I got my rotors in today, came off the FedEx truck. So the only thing keeping me from slapping everything together is I did have the other axle nut that was still good. I mean, I can still use that. It's a little chewed up right there, but it doesn't matter. All it does is just holds it down. So I'm waiting for my axle nut for the passenger side, and also let's see, I'm waiting for my axle nut for the passenger side. That needs to come in, and oh, my sway bar link for this side. Once my sway bar link comes in tomorrow, and I'm telling you, man, eBay, you never know what to do with eBay. I mean, one seller sends you something perfect, on time, fast. This other seller put down my tracking number online last Friday, and I'm trying to track my nut, and it's nowhere to be found. It's like they just printed a label, stuck it on the box, and then put it in a living room or something. So be careful. Watch who you can order from. Just because they're cheap don't mean they're good. Axle nut's an axle nut, but I'm talking about the seller. My wife's about to leave in our Mazda 6 wagon. That thing is sweet. You're leaving? Check this out. I mean, look at the interior. Interior's in awesome condition. Get off a video and come on and that's pretty much it, fellas. If I have any updates, I'll make another video. It probably won't be part 3. I'm going to show them part 2 so I can show what the bolts and stuff look like when you put them back in there and everything, and where the tabs were on the passenger side, because the tabs on the other side broke off, so I couldn't really give you a good example of what they look like. Wish me luck. Mike signing out.